For pensioners holding government bonds, exempting them from the government's debt exchange program was not far-fetched. Constantly picketing at the finance ministry and petitioning key stakeholders were concrete moves it took to ensure its members were not included. On February 16, the Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta confirmed that all pensioners who failed to tender their old bonds for new ones under the Domestic Debt Exchange Program had been exempted. However, to further push for better policies for pensioners holding government bonds in the country, the Pensioner Bondholders Forum has proposed the formation of a Domestic Credit Committee. Addressing the media, the convener of the group, Dr. Eduana Nientri, says the move will help increase investor confidence and force the government to honor its debt obligations.
The forum supports a proposal made by Dr. Eduana Nientri for the establishment by an executive instrument of a domestic creditor committee made up of 2 representatives each from the Ghana Association of Bankers, Ghana Insurance Association, Ghana Securities Industry Association, Chamber of Pension Trustees of Ghana, and individual bondholders. The committee will serve to represent and protect the common interests of all domestic bondholders and also people holding treasury bills. It will have the following function, basically 2 functions: to monitor compliance by the government with its debt obligations to domestic creditors, and 2, to offer independent advice to the government on measures and policies that must be undertaken to ensure the continuous ability of the government to meet its debt obligation to domestic creditors.
The group also wants the government to review its expenditure in order to meet its debt obligations.
These measures are intended to increase investor confidence that the debt obligations will be complied with by government, thus making the bonds and treasury bill more valuable to investors. We trust that the government will be able to meet its obligation to all holders of government bonds, but wish to advise that given the current economic circumstances of the country, it is prudent that the government review some of its expenditures and bring the levels down to create fiscal space to meet its debt obligations always.